Hello and welcome to the penalty box.
If you are firm and you are sure that you can move and you can score.
I'm Peter Clotte, and today in the penalty box we will have a review of the opening match between Croatia and Brazil.
You mean let's give the game to Brazil? That game? Is that
Well,
what you're talking about?
experts are here. My experts are here, and today look at the match between Croatia and Brazil. Well, Brazil won to much fanfare, but there were a bunch of controversies. Damir, how do you feel?
Let me give a tissue.
Where do I start? I have a tissue. By
Are you going?
Okay. So how do I start? Brazil, I can say very shortly. Brazil is definitely a better team, but Croatia was robbed. And that's everything what I can say about the game. I mean, we can go on and on and on. We can read world media, we watched the game, we saw it, everybody saw it. Everybody is like 95% of the people around the world say that that penalty was not penalty.
Well,
I'm sorry, that's the nice way of putting it. Let's just say Fred flopped, first and foremost, and then what was Oleg even charged for? What was that foul about with the... Why was he...
That's less controversial.
It's less controversial because in this modern day of football, if you challenge the keeper in any way at all, it goes in favor of the keeper. That's what it is.
Like 95%.
Yeah, 95% of the time. It really doesn't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Once you jump with the keeper, that's it.
Up there,
that's it. If there's any slight touch, the referee will call it for the keeper.
Anyway,
I mean, that's how it is.
I was disappointed actually with Brazilian performance. Maybe they were nervous, as some people say. It was opening game. Well, but he will jump. Let me just finish. But if they continue to play like this, I don't predict them winning.
Some people say Croatia had a compact tactical disposition on the field, and that caused a lot of problems to Brazil. But
in the beginning, okay, I'm gonna go again in on this. Okay, in the beginning they did. Okay, no doubt about that. Okay, but
then Oscar killed them.
Well, that's true. And the defense fullbacks were horrible in the beginning. Danny Alves going up there, sacrificing that whole section, and then Silva coming, and it kind of shifts the whole defense to covering one mistake, and then just it's going to cost you. But I do want to agree with you. Paulinho wasn't the best. I mean, he was replaced because he was a little lazy. He didn't come back enough when they needed him. So the midfield wasn't really doing good. And yes, I agree with you. Oscar was the man of the match. And I'm actually, as a fan, I am so glad to see that happening, because I was very worried about him. Because remember in Chelsea, he wasn't doing really well. So I was like, he shouldn't play. And I was making an argument why Kaká, a veteran, should start. So that's my, that's what I think about.
In the beginning of the match, you could see how well organized the Croatian team was. I was pleasantly surprised about the test they gave the Brazilians. The Brazilians did not have any answer to the play. Yeah,
they were scrambling until Neymar scored that goal.
Yes,
they were scrambling.
Well, they had to. You know why? The thing is, though, and I said this again. They hadn't had a serious game in a very long time. Croatia was their start, and yes, overall, yeah, they didn't do good, but that's what you expect a Croatian team to give them.
And they still won the match.
And they still won
the final score was 3-1.
Let's go back. Let's talk about the penalty. Let's talk about the penalty. Look, it's a controversial call, but you guys have to understand. We, the viewers, were watching it. So when it happens, we see a replay. Yes, we go crazy, but you have to understand that now. It's just three referees. He has to make a decision. So that decision, yeah, it was very wrong.
But there are a couple of decisions. That's not the only one. But in England, he will get a yellow card for simulating.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
And what hurts to the Croatians, what really hurts, is that was such a game changer.
It was.
That really turned around the pace of the game.
It really was.
But see, when you're playing a host nation, you are bound to have such decisions going in favor, no matter how soft it is. We've seen countless games of host nations being given some form of soft padding, and that FIFA has a history of ensuring that the first game or the opening game always go in favor of the host nation. They are not about to change it right now, and that is why you have things like that happening.
The opening game was a great game to watch for anybody who wasn't necessarily pulling for Brazil or Croatia. If you were a Brazil or Croatia fan, you weren't really happy with that game for obvious reasons. But especially if you're a Spain fan or an Argentina fan or a Germany fan, you really liked that game because Brazil did not come up as Brazil didn't come up to play that they were supposed to.
It's a wake-up call. Trust me, it's a wake-up call. It was their first game. I guarantee you. Paulinho, they need to make a decision right away. Maybe Ramirez might actually start the next game. So for them, it was a wake-up call. They need to realize.
They have to wake up. Otherwise,
I did not like Hulk's performance as well.
Look,
you have the youngster, doing way better than him.
At the World Cup and in tournaments like this, usually momentum counts. Yeah. Once you get the momentum, especially the home team, if it has a very significant compact of players, they tend to go very far in the tournament. Well, folks, thanks again for coming. This is about all time will permit us for today. Thanks for joining us in the penalty box. I'm Peter Clottey. Bye for now.